Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. We are here. We are here. We just had a little slight delay, but we are here. Back at the start of a new week. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023. The month of October literally pulled up, gave a head nod, and now it's like, it's about to be over already. I don't know how to feel about that, but, it is what it is. But how was everybody's weekend? What did you do? Please let us know in the chat if you did anything. If you watched some college football, if you watched some NFL football, let us know if your favorite team won. But let us know what you did over the weekend, and also be sure that you're bundling up for the weather. I know that we are experiencing some slight uh, temperature changes. So make sure that you're addressing accordingly. We don't want nobody coming down with any viruses or sickness. No, 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 no. We don't do that over here. But make sure that you are bundled up for the weather. But how is everyone doing today? I see you, Miss Marion Jackson and Miss Adrian, coming in through YouTube. Good morning, Miss Shardinia. Good morning, Miss Deborah Johnson. Good morning, Mr. Robert Holman. Good morning, Dr. Antoinette. Good morning, Miss Donnell. I want to say that's Miss Donnell from coming in from YouTube, and good morning, Miss Latrice Jones, who's tuning in from Facebook. But how was everybody's weekend? And literally, the month of October pulled up, gave a head nod, and said, "I'm out." So this month went by fast, but that's that's a win because next month we got Thanksgiving. So what's on the menu? Let me know so I can pull up, give me a plate. But let me know what y'all got going on right after this because what we do over here, let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I see Deborah Johnson says she went to the Kirk Franklin reunion concert. What a blessed time. I missed that. I was going to do that, but hey. Then we have Pastor Alex on here. We have my brother on here, Dr. Antoinette. Again, a shout out. Y'all, congratulations to her. I hope I have this correct. But she was ordained on yesterday. Can you please put in the chat to make sure I have that correct? I see you, Davia. Good morning. And I see you, Dr. Annette. Good morning to you. So I believe Dr. Antoinette was ordained on yesterday. So shout out to her. Also, shout out to Dr. Antoinette who submitted questions for the White House briefing on artificial intelligence, and that's happening today. It is a briefing on the administration's commitment to advancing the safe, secure, and trustworthy development and use of artificial intelligence. I did receive a White House fact sheet. I'm going to wait for her notes later today, and then I will share the complete fact sheet along with her notes on tomorrow. So congratulations, congratulations. I see Jackie in here. Good morning to you. I see Victoria. What's up? She said she went to the concert, a breast cancer awareness event, and she curled up on her sofa. You packed in a lot there. Oh, Dr. Antoine, let me correct that. Thank you. She was installed as the assistant pastor. She's already ordained. I thought so. When I saw your collar and everything, I thought she was already ordained. She was installed as the assistant pastor. She said, God allowed me to be ordained a few years ago. Okay, that's what I was there. I was like, So installation. So congratulations to Dr. Antoinette for becoming installed as the assistant pastor at her church. So congratulations to you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyone else have anything you want me to shout out? Because I will surely do it. Davia, when's the podcast coming? Because I'm starting to have withdrawals. So let us know when that's happening. Okay, y'all. While you all are doing that, I want to have a little bit of fun. There's been so much news, and I'm going to get to it in just a few moments. Um, we've had LOL, laughing out loud, LMAO, laughing my you know what off, ROFL, rolling on the floor laughing. And now there is IJBOL. I got this from New York Times, y'all. But I loved it. I wanted to put it out here. IJBOL, which stands for I just burst out laughing. I don't know who made that up, but I guess people are using it. What acronyms do you usually use on your social media platform? Just think about it, throw some up there. I do LOL all the time. I've done LMAO. So what other ones have you put out there? Just put it in here. Let's just see what we're doing on social media. So just fill that in and I'll keep reading. I see my sister Patricia Lyles. Good morning to you. I see you, Regina. I see you, Shirley Nicholson, coming up in here. Dr. Annette says she went to the reunion tour and the Ohio Women Against Domestic Violence breakfast with a brunch event in church. So yes, I see you, Stephanie. I see you. I'm gonna see if I know what these mean. Dr. Annette Antoinette says IJS, and that's I'm just saying. Uh, Deborah Johnson says IKR. I know, right? Davia says IYKYK. That stands for if you know, you know. I'm doing pretty good, right, y'all? Jackie says PIB, pain in the butt. Okay, I'm glad she gave me the whole thing. Victoria says ROFLOL, rolling on floor laughing out loud. Did I get that one right? Okay, y'all keep putting them in here. I haven't missed one. Oh, I'm gonna miss this one. Victoria also says IMHO. I have no idea what that stands for. So you got to give me the wording for that, the words for that. Dr. Annette says BAM, because anointing matters. I like that one. And then Shirley says TGIF. That's thank God it's Friday. Okay, y'all got them. Y'all got them. Keep putting them in there so we can learn something. So I think I got most of those except for two. I think I did most of those. So yay! So let's keep it filled up. Let's keep it filled up. All right, y'all. Before we get to the news, and we do have a lot. Okay. So IMHO stands for in my humble opinion. All right, y'all. She's coming in from LinkedIn, so I want to make sure I put that back out there. In my humble opinion. All right, y'all, we have a lot of news from over the weekend. Before I get to that, Isaiah and I have been talking, my team and I have been talking, and we have a question for you. And we want y'all to be honest and we want you to put your answer in the chat. We thought we could do a poll on here, but we could not figure out how to do the poll. Davia says, thank you, Gail. Tales from the Shaker returns November the 10th. Yes! So that's not this Friday is next Friday. Yes, y'all make sure y'all tune in. If you have not signed up for Davia's YouTube, please do so. It's on all podcast platforms. So wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure you go and mark it now, set your alerts, follow her, subscribe to her YouTube, subscribe, download even past episodes of Tales from the Shaker. Please, 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 y'all, please, I want us to really come together in unity and support one another. And listen, it's worth supporting. It is amazing. Seriously, y'all know I don't talk about stuff if I don't believe it. Okay, y'all know I'll say, "Oh, okay," and I'll just keep going. Y'all should know me by now. This is almost 4 years here. I'll say, "Oh, okay, here's a book. All right, yes, let's congratulate them." But then there's times I'm like, "Listen, you want to follow this person." You want to listen to their content. You want to support their work. When I wear different t-shirts and things like that, y'all know me by now. Listen, you want to go and subscribe to Davia's YouTube. You want to go and find Tales from the Shaker on all podcast platform, whichever one is your podcast preference, whatever platform, go ahead, download, set your alerts, follow, and support. You will not be disappointed. Seriously, you will not be disappointed. I see you, Fred Jones. Good morning. So here's the question we want to ask you on, then I'll jump to the news. I promise you. And I'll make this quick. I'm not going to stay on this long, but we need to hear from you. Two questions. First question is, do you benefit from news in motion? And you're not going to hurt my feelings if you say no. Davia says, got me over here crying. Listen, cry on, sister, because your stuff is the bomb. Okay? Cry on all you want to. I will go out on the rooftop with a sign that says, watch and listen to Tales from the Shaker, because I believe in the work that you're doing. It is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. So yes, cry on, sister. I'll come over and cry with you if you want to get a mimosa. But anyway, we want to know two things. One, do you benefit? Like y'all, seriously, do you benefit from news and motion? Do you benefit? We want to know that. Okay. Number two, actually, it's three questions. Sorry. Number two, we're now Monday through Thursday. So let's say after the holidays, when we come back in January, which I believe is January the 3rd, we're still here in December and November, but when we come back in 2024, let me say it that way. Currently, we're Monday through Thursday. Would it be better if we were just 1 or 2 days a week? Or do you really need us? I shouldn't say need. Or do you prefer us 4 days? And if so, why do you prefer us 4 days? Or do you only tune in once or twice a week? Let us know. We want to know. Put that in the chat. And then the third thing is this, and I'm being real serious about this, y'all. Serious. I'm being real serious about this. And I struggled, but my business coach said I need to put this out here. The team and I've had this discussion, and Isaiah and I talked about it again this morning. And that is this. AI is already kicking my behind. Okay. Because we have to, the fact check is not just what I used to do for the past 3 years. The fact check is, all right, we got to wait on this source. We got to wait on this source. We might have to delay this until the next day. What does this look like? And we're fact checking upon fact checking upon fact checking, to where if I spent, let's say, 7 hours, I'm spending like 12 to 14. And sometimes it's even up the next morning, really still looking for it before I can put it out there or not. Well, that costs. It does. And I've decided I cannot continue to put in more than $1,300 a month, my own self, to do this. So the last question is, are you all willing to invest in the work that's happening here? And if it's a no, you're not going to hurt my feelings. That will help us make the decisions we need to make. So now that's out there. Kim Edmondson says, 4 days, please, and thank you. Stephanie Burbridge Hall says, I need the 4 days and go through withdrawals on Friday. Okay. And I see a lot of yeses above that. Jackie says, yes, I benefit from news and motion because of the current news events you share. I'm able to share with others information that I know is accurate. Jackie says, 4 days, please. Dr. Antoinette says, I prefer 4 days and try to tune in 4 days a week. National news happens too frequently, and NIM is my trusted source for what's happening in the nation. Wow, thank you. I see a lot of yes. Stephanie Burbridge Hall says, yes, I'm willing to invest. Well, praise the Lord. Okay. I guess you have to ask. I guess you have to ask. Marion Jackson says, yes, I absolutely benefit from news and motion. I prefer 4 days a week. News and motion is my morning news. I will invest when I'm able. Praise God. And that's all we're asking. Regina says, I like the 4 days. However, I believe in life balance. So if you need less days, do it. And it's not really that part of it. It's that it's the income and expense. I gotta be honest. I'm learning not to like skip through those. Deborah Sneed says, I try to sign in all 4 days a week and look forward to it. And Regina Stewart says, I'm willing to invest. Well, all right, y'all. Okay. Well, let's get to the news. Thank y'all so much for taking time to answer that, because we want to stay on. I absolutely love it, but I had to be realistic and say I can't keep taking this out of my bank account, because I might get put out the house, y'all. Let's just be real, okay? So anyway, let me do what I'm doing. So y'all, the following information is all in question. I want y'all to know that many sources are making this report. However, I am, as well as so many journalists, are hesitant because we honestly don't know this information. And that is, Israel began expanding its ground operations in Gaza, sending groups of soldiers into Palestine enclave. At the same time, Israel took out communications communication lines in areas, and with residents and humanitarian aid organizations, including journalists, were unable to connect. So they lost complete connection, cell, and internet connection services. And Israeli forces carried out their ground attacks. And they say some communications was restored on Sunday. Now, Politico is reporting that Elon Musk, I guess he's good for something, that Elon Musk said Saturday that Starlink would offer connectivity to internationally recognized aid groups in Gaza amid the communication blackout resulting from Israel's attacks. Now, in a series of separate posts on X, formerly known as Twitter, the multi-billionaire, he had to put that out there, okay, insisted that his satellite internet service could provide connectivity to the war-ravaged territory. He says, but the connection request has not been made. Uh, they lost connection. They can't tell you that they need your help. So if you're either going to help or you're not going to help, but how they going to tell you if they lost connection? I thought it was really that simple. Y'all, the Gaza Health Ministry, and this is a part that we cannot get a firm number on, now says that Israeli attack have taken the lives of over 8,000 people. Again, we have not, there's so many people reporting that, but we do not have an actual number. So I'm hesitant on giving you that number, but I am reporting from many sources, and there's probably over 14 at this point that are all saying the same thing. Now, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called a second stage in his country's war against Hamas. The ministry's death toll counts were called into question just before the internet shut down after US President Joe Biden said that he had no confidence in that data. So even the intel from one of the most secure places to get intel, they're questioning that data. Okay, y'all, per the New York Times, President Biden also told Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that his country had the right to defend itself, but it had to make protecting civilians a priority. So that is happening there as well. Now, y'all, there's more information here. Politico reports that in an interview, and Latrice Jones, you said something about this about two weeks ago, right after the attack first started. In an interview on CNN on Sunday, that Iran's foreign minister declined to definitively say that his country would not get involved in the Israel-Hamas war should the conflict spread across the Middle East. He did, however, say, we don't want this war to spread out. Now, this particular interview came a few days after the foreign minister threatened the U.S. in an address during the UN General Assembly. Y'all, if you are able to watch it and you have the strength to watch it, watch it. It's out there. It is out there. And it has been vetted. It's not made up. He really did say these things. And he said, and I quote, if the genocide in Gaza continues, the U.S. will not be spared from the fire. Yeah, and then he reiterated that again on Sunday, and in his interview with CNN, and he's condemning the U.S. for interfering in all aspects of the region. Now, earlier last week, or should I say late last week, U.S. President Joe Biden warned Iran. I'm like, oh, well, why are we in other people's fights? But he warned Iran against taking military action against his country's troops. He's like, don't do that. We're not doing that. Because y'all remember what happened in the Middle East? Some of the military was hit. The U.S. military. He says, and I quote, this is Joe Biden. He ain't Sleepy Joe. He says, my warning to Ayola was that if we continue, this is the prime minister, if we continue to move against those troops, we will respond. If they continue to move against our troops, we will respond. And he said that they should be prepared. And he quickly made good on what he said because the U.S. fighter jets launched airstrikes in 2 locations in Syria on Friday. So I don't know what's about to happen, but we should just we should remain engaged in the news. This is why I say, find you a trusted news source and follow it. Just find that trusted news source and follow it because you never know. You just want to be aware of what's happening. Now, With that being said, I just want to alert everybody this is how you organize. Now, they had some serious underground organization happening across the world. All right. AP and others are reporting. They said there's a sea. AP used the word. There was a sea of hundreds of protesters filled the main concourse of the New York City's famed Grand Central Terminal during the evening rush hour on Friday. They shut the thing down. I was following Michael F. Moore live on Instagram, and they shut it down. Like the trains couldn't go anywhere. They shut it down. They filled it. They said there was probably thousands inside, down in the train area, and outside. They flooded it. Now this is how you. This is how you. They were all wearing the same black T-shirt with the same wording. I'm like, well, who produced these t-shirts? What business did they go through? And how did all of them get it? I'm talking thousands of people having the exact same t-shirt. The t-shirt says, Jews say ceasefire now. And then some of them on the back said, not in our name. Now, 200 demonstrators were detained from New York Police Department. But as I was watching Michael F. Moore's Instagram live for like almost 2 hours, at one point the police was like, forget this, like we can't win here. They were flooding them in. So that was happening. And then it started breaking out all over the world. And many of them had the same black t-shirt. I said, how they know they had this black t-shirt with these words like within hours? It was crazy. It was crazy. So y'all, then on Saturday, the Brooklyn Bridge kind of like, they were like, you ain't crossing this bridge in the same black t-shirt. So now they're in the Grand Terminal. They're out on the streets. They're on the bridge. And here was a quote by one of the people. They said, the more they try to silence us, repress us, push us off the street, the larger our numbers will be, the louder we will be. They said, we will keep coming out. I'm like, what kind of this is organization 101 that we all need to line up and get the workshop behind it, because I'm not sure how they're doing it, but they're doing it. So y'all, police temporarily shut down all lanes of the Brooklyn Bridge in Manhattan on Saturday after a large group of demonstrators rallying in support of the Palestinians started heading in that direction. They pretty much took over New York. So y'all, that's what's happening. I was like, wow. So y'all, as you know, and some of you may be sad, and I totally forgot he was still in it. Y'all, Pence suspends his 2024 presidential campaign. Yeah. And this is what he says. After much prayer and deliberation, I have decided to spend my campaign for president effective today. That was on Saturday. He said at a Republican Jewish coalition gathering in Las Vegas. He goes on in this quote and says, we always knew this would be an uphill battle, but I have no regrets. Okay. All right. So he becomes the first major person who suspended his campaign because, as NBC reports, a radio host, Larry Elder, y'all know him, he unsuccessfully ran to replace the governor California in a runoff, Newsom, in 2021 a recall election, and he ended his 2024 bid for president on last Thursday, and he came out with his, his Larry Elder, the black man radio host, saying, but I absolutely endorse President Donald Trump. Are you serious? Like, seriously, are you serious? But that's what he's doing. Elder is actually the third. He was the third. Pence is the fourth. GOP candidate to drop out. We had former Miami Mayor Francis Suarez who dropped out. He ended in August. And then former Representative Will Hurd of Texas dropped out also last week. And he endorsed South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. So that's your update. That's your update. Dr. Antoinette says suspends. Try to save your ego, dude. But I know he just. Mm-mm. So y'all, now we have more gag orders. Judge Chunkin reinstates the gag order on Trump election case. He now faces 2 gag orders, and I don't think she's playing around with dude. Judge Chunkin's ruling appeared in a brief docket early Sunday evening. Like, whatever happened, it happened. They say he's threatening his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows. I don't know. So Mark Meadows now has extra security for he and his family, and details of the ruling were not available. In addition to all of that, I think he's starting to spiral out of control. Not that he hasn't already, but his children will testify this week in New York. So here's the testimony, the testimony schedule, and they're trying real hard to bring it live, and I hope they do. So on Wednesday we have Don Jr., we have Donnie Jr. on Wednesday. On Tuesday we have the other brother, that's Eric. He's just like in the wind somewhere. And then on Friday, y'all, we get the daughter, Ivanka Trump. Yeah. And then on Monday, November the 6th, we get old dude, the former guy up there in the seat. So this is going to be quite interesting. It's going to be quite interesting. And I think he's going to throw them all under the bus. Okay. I think he is. Now, Business Insider is talking about Ivanka, and she's, set to testify on Friday. And they say in the quote, she played a key role in the Trump organization's efforts to win ground lease from the U.S. government for the old post office property in Washington. That's the historic building that they converted into a luxury hotel while he was president. Okay. And then Business Insider also shares that in connection with her work, the AG wrote that Miss Trump caused misleading financial statements to be submitted to Deutsche Bank and the federal government. That's what's happening. And then Business Insider also found out that this is all eyes are on Ivanka. That as Donald Trump's top loan negotiator, Ivanka Trump indeed excelled at securing rock bottom interest rates. They say saving her father as much as 150 million on 400 million in Deutsche Bank loans. There you have it. This is going to be very interesting. So let's see who's going to throw underneath the bus first. And I've heard so many journalists and comedians say, I'm sure they all wish they were Tiffany Trump right now. Like Tiffany's like, I'm out. I don't have anything to do with any of this. You don't even see her. So that's what's happening. So this is all beginning to unfold. It's a slow burn, if you will. So we're seeing all of this. So UAW reached a tentative deal with Stellantis. Last week I told you about the one with Ford. This week there's one with Stellantis with terms similar to the union's recent agreement with Ford. The United Auto Workers and Stellantis agreed to a tentative 4-year labor deal. The deal reached with Ford last week to expand against the General Motors, but the UAW expands strike against General Motors to Tennessee plant over the weekend. I mean, they're like, everybody else is doing it, you're gonna come over too. So they kind of like up the ante over there. Y'all, the 40-year-old gunman in Lewiston, Maine, reportedly died by suicide. He was found in a plant that he used to work in. His body was, excuse me. And then, yeah, I don't know how I missed this, and maybe you all did as well, or maybe you already knew about it. But y'all, can we talk about the Category 5 hurricane, Otis? Yeah, that hit Acapulco, Mexico last week. Yeah, the damages are estimated to be at least $15 billion. That's what the B. And right now, there's a death toll of 43 lives that were lost. So, y'all, that's what's coming in here in this news. Let me see what some of you all are saying. Deborah Johnson says, when you know someone needs help, we should help whether they ask or not. Mary Jackson says, absolutely. I have no idea what y'all talking about, but okay. Marion Jackson says the former guy needs to get ready for his orange jumpsuit. Okay. And this she also says, we all know the former guy don't know how to be quiet. Nope, not at all. Yes, Mike Nicholson, Matthew Perry. Thank you. I was getting there. But thank you for that. Now, y'all, for whatever reason, that hit me hard because I used to watch Friends all the time. And I know he had some issues after that, after the filming of Friends, but he passed away this past weekend, I believe, in his hot tub or jacuzzi. They said no foul play, but they were still going to do an autopsy or something like that. They were going to dig deeper. Um, Stephanie says she just heard of the Mexico hurricane. Is that not? That's just a lot. Let me see what some more of you all are saying. I'm gonna go up a little bit. Davia says, yes, I benefit and would love 4 days, but do what you need to keep your ethos of truth telling. I always watch the replay. If I miss it, I would invest. Well, thank you. Deborah says, and yes, I would invest. Keep it going. Latrice says, what does the data say about when people tune in, make informed decisions. I'm invested. We have been watching that. And here's what's interesting. Um, we've been watching since September 11th when we returned. Great question, Latrice. And here's what's interesting. We thought Mondays were low, but Mondays can start low, but then the next week they're the higher numbers, and then the following week they're low again. And so when we look across the board, Thursdays are like our lighter days. When I say lighter days, we have more fun on the show, more relaxed content. And that day like flies off the roof. Like I'm like, so they want less content? Like help me understand. So when we look at each day, Monday through Thursday, um, our regular replays across the board, and that's including a podcast platform, our audio, everything, is about 1,000 plus replays. It hasn't been under 900 in months. So the rest of replays, the live between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. When we look at the numbers, it can be anywhere from live. And it's funny because we don't see those numbers on here, but when we get the reports, there are 200 or 300 people that are tuning in live. The audio and podcast, there's about 500 or 600 tuning in live each day. So our numbers are so like just wow that we wanted to poll you all to ask you, but great questions. Deborah says, I greatly benefit from News in Motion. This is my trusted source. I love 4-day format. I will invest in this platform. So y'all are still there. Well, I love y'all. You know, I'm told all the time, just ask, just ask. So here I am asking. All right, y'all. In sports, y'all, Kenny is so sad. Kenny is trying, he's in seminary, and he has these papers he has to do. So I told him, Isaiah and I try to fill in until he returns. But he comes on, y'all. Hope y'all are still checking him out on Saturdays at 6 o'clock or 6:30 on Saturdays when he's sharing there. But Ohio State Buckeyes pulled through. I just knew they were going to lose. I just knew they were going to lose. Yes, I said it. Ohio State Buckeyes pulled through, but Wisconsin gave them a run. Um, Coach Prime is still Coach Prime, but if they don't get somebody to protect his son as a quarterback, I'm like, if y'all just had people to protect him, y'all would win every game because that dude is the bomb. Okay, his son is the bomb as a quarterback. So are all the other players as well. Now I'm gonna make a very controversial statement. Y'all can hate me, I don't care. But if Ohio State don't change that quarterback, seriously, like seriously, he's good. He has some maturing to do. So, look, can we just see if there's somebody else out there? I'm just asking that request. I'm not for sure what happened in NFL. So, if y'all have any NFL scores, put them out there. We'll take a look at it. But the other thing I want to do, I want to get into our inspirational message, and then I'm out of here. Marion Jackson says, I was saying absolutely to how they organize it. Listen, they organize that thing. All right, y'all, the inspirational message. Now, what I do get is that y'all love these inspirational messages. I'm like, well, okay, okay. Did they who, Mike? You gotta tell me more. All right, y'all, I'm back in Mark 11 verses 1 through 11. Mark 11 verses 1 through 11. Um, Now, it's clear that when Jesus gives a plan, he gives plain instructions. So I'm not going to read the scripture. Y'all go check it out for yourself. But he told them, he said, go to the village. And then he told them what was going to happen ahead of them. Like ahead of you, this is going to happen. He says, and just as you enter the village, you will find a colt tied there, which no one has ever ridden. So he gave them like this. He tells them to untie it, and he says, "Bring it here." He even says to them, "If anyone asks you why are you doing this, tell them." It's like, okay. And then he says, tell them the Lord needs it and will send it back here shortly. That's it. Those were the instructions. So they set out, they go. They went, they found, they saw the tied colt at the doorway. They untied it. The people inquired. They answered. The people let them go. Like it was real simple. Boom, boom, boom. They followed the instructions to the T. Everything fell into place. They took the colt and they left. So, I want to talk about simple instructions, trust the process. We make things so complicated. We do. I make things complicated, okay? What I asked you all today was said to me probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, not just from the team, but from my business coach. They've been telling me, just ask the question, just ask the question. And I was like, nah, I just don't want to. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to have paywalls. I don't want to do. And I was always explaining what I did not want to do. Okay. But I was also always saying, well, how do we take this further? And they're like, we've given you this answer several times. We make things complicated when it's really simple. So even when we go to God and we say, "Okay, God, what do you want me to do?" or he says, "What do you want me to do for you?" and you tell him and he answers however it is that he answers you, however he has a conversation with you. We find a way to, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to find another way. It might be difficult. Then let me ask somebody else to do this. Okay, or let me find another way. Yesterday in my quiet time, I have devotions from the patio, but it was kind of raining, so I was inside. But yesterday I was just sitting there like, God, what am I to do? How am I to do this and this? And he said, this is how you're going to do it. I decided to go get my pen and paper and write it down. And I followed all of those instructions yesterday and again this morning, and how quickly all of you responded. Which, I mean, I was holding it in, y'all. Y'all know me, I'm a crybaby. I was holding it in because it was exactly how God was telling me it was going to come out. Exactly. And it's like if we would just listen and take heed to his words and trust the process, it doesn't have to be that complicated. It does not have to be that complicated. Not at all. So, what I want to encourage all of us to do today is to ask the question, wait for the instructions, get out your notepad, because some of our memories aren't as strong as they used to be 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, for some, maybe even 5 years ago. Write it down and then say, I'm going to trust this process and watch how God moves. Watch how he moves. All right, y'all. I want y'all to have a great week today. It's going to get cold. It is already cold in Columbus, Ohio. Um, Somebody had nerve to tell me something about some snow for Tuesday. I was like, have you lost it? I don't think we're not there yet. We're not there yet. If you are participating by opening your doors to people who may come looking for candy, y'all be careful, be safe. I was actually at the mall the other day and I saw all these children in these costumes. I'm like, what is going on? I thought it was a phenomenal idea. They were going from store to store, trick or treating or whatever you want to do. Thank you, Shirley. Whatever you want to call it. But y'all be safe, be safe, be safe, be safe, be safe. Find other ways. Y'all stay away from giving apples and all that. That those days are over. This is not the 70s anymore. Those days are over. Make sure the candy's wrapped. If you have children, check it out before they start opening it. Everybody can't be trusted. So, and by the way, did y'all know? My sister says snow on Tuesday. I don't know who gave y'all that report. Did y'all know that Halloween became a holiday? I never knew that was a holiday. I've seen signs on stores saying we will be open on October 31st for the holiday. Well, when was this a holiday? Did we make that up? Where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? All right, y'all, let's get out of here. I know you have things to do today as well. We'll be back here on tomorrow with that fact sheet. Y'all, Dr. Antoinette will be in that White House briefing. I believe it is at 10 this morning. So let's pray for her as she's doing that. I love the work that we're all doing collectively with News in Motion. Marian said, ask the questions, wait on the instructions, write it down, follow the instructions. Yes, it's that simple. All right, y'all, tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I will have the fact sheet for AI, the safety from the White House. On Wednesday, I have no idea what we're talking about. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have some fun. We have some color purple tickets to give away. I believe it's sold out. So the only tickets that are left are the tickets that I have. There may be a couple more. We'll make sure. But if you want to try and go onto the link and grab it, you can do that. Also, sign up for manuscripts and mimosas. Friday is our next live. It's called First Friday Live. We have a New York Times bestselling author who's going to be on there sharing with the exclusive membership how to make a pitch to the literary agent, and to the publishers. All right, y'all. I don't know if Isaiah is in or out, but y'all, that's all we have. Stay bold, keep moving, live your life in abundance. And until tomorrow, we are out. I don't know.
Music motion.